2017. I basically have 10. I wrote this in my blog. I'll link it down below. And my Instagram, I posted just mainly the list that I wrote. But I really wanted to share this video with you because I think a lot of times I set a goal and for reading, whether that's how many books or how many pages or what genre, but I never stick to it. I tell myself I'm gonna do, but I never do. So I wrote down a list. I'm doing this video so it can remind me of what goals I set, not only on Goodreads but for YouTube. And I'm hoping that we can support each other in reaching these goals, and maybe even recommendations on books that you like, and what you would recommend for me to reading and vice versa. My first goal is to read at least 50 books in 2017. Now last year I said 75, and let's just say I did not reach my goal. So I feel like 50 is a reasonable goal. There's 365 days in a year. If I pace myself, if I get at least a good on the schedule with my coursework and my jobs, I think it's doable. My second goal is to keep up with hashtag a yearathon, which is a group that I'm a part of on Goodreads. Now each year they have it, and each month is a theme. So whether that's a challenge to pick books to read that have the same cover color, or the same genre, or a standalone book. All these different things is really fun for us because we get to vote on it before they set the whole year schedule. You get to meet new friends, you get to talk about your progress, what you're reading, if you were able to do the challenge, or what were some of the struggles. Also to follow each other on social media platforms, other people's blogs, YouTube channels, so that way we're staying connected and we're also supporting each other. So I really want to stick with it. This week is actually the first day it starts. This week's challenge is to read books that have the same color on the cover. So that's really going to be a hard challenge. I'm not sure I actually did it right, but I'm just going to read books that I have on my shelf. There's a few actually up here, and it keeps going up. You can only see two shelves, but there's many more up there. I need to start reading. My third goal is to read at least 50 pages a day. Now I'm hoping that setting this goal will motivate me to keep continuing it every day. That I sit down, I read 50 pages, I don't feel like it's overwhelming, I'm setting aside time in my busy schedule, and then when I complete it, I can put the book down and then continue it the next day. If anyone has tried this, let me know if it works for you, or if you're one of those people that really can't put the book down. I'm that person, so that's going to be a challenge if I really start liking it, to put it down, because usually when I like a book and I'm really into it, I have to read it straight through until I'm done, which can be sometimes a problem if you have actually work to do. My fourth goal would be to at least read a book a week. Now my goal was to read 50 in a year, but I'm just setting this goal so I can just remind myself if there's maybe a week or two that I haven't read a book, to keep myself on it, and to make sure that I'm at least attempting to start a book, or to at least end the book that I might have been reading for more than a week. My fifth goal is to read more poetry and plays. Now, I love plays, but most of the time I'm watching it on either the television, or if it's a play that got turned into a movie. And even poetry, I follow a couple Instagrams that post their poetry, or sometimes I'll find a poem and I'll read that. But I haven't sat down or bought books that are full of poems, or the classic poetry and plays that have got nominated, or they're just really amazing. People talk about it. So I really want to get away from just reading young adult books. They're amazing, they're fine, but I really want to challenge myself to really start getting into plays and poetry. My sixth goal is to actually read to my niece every day. She was actually born tomorrow. She'll be 4 weeks. And so everyone else bought her clothes, which is nice, but I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought her books from my childhood that I loved, and books that I thought would have a story, have a lesson to learn. And I want her to grow up loving to read. A lot of times we are just putting technology in front of kids and they don't want to go outside and they don't want to do what we used to do when we were young. And so I want her to have a passion, to have a love for literature, for reading. I think it's the best way to find yourself. It's freeing, it's imaginative, it's creative, it takes you into another world. And so I want her to find what she loves to read, but really to have a passion for it. My seventh goal would be to do more book related videos. Now, I just started, so I really don't have that many videos, but sometimes I can get discouraged about not liking the videos I make or not having the greatest ideas or maybe not making as many friends as I can on Booktube or just YouTube in general. But I just want to keep going. I want to make as many as I can to so that I can share with you guys what I like to read, but also to see what's out there and what you guys are interested in. 8, as I said, I want to make more Booktube friends or just YouTube friends in general. So if you guys like these videos, please add me on social media, and I do follow back, so just direct message me and let me know that you either saw this video and that you want to follow me, and I'll totally follow you back. I'm all about supporting this community and supporting others who have the same passion and interest as me, and I think it'd be wonderful to make more friends. My 9th goal would be to read all of the books on my shelf that have never been read. So my TBR books. They've been there for a while. And sometimes I forget that I haven't read them, so I'll just go to Barnes& and Noble or a thrift store, and then I'll find another book, and I'll keep buying books. So this is really a problem. So 2017 needs to be the day, the year, where I read all the books on my shelves before buying new books. Lastly, my 10th goal is to write a book review for every book that I read in 2017. I have a Goodreads. I really want to be consistent on rating the books I read, but also writing a review, whether that's connected to my work, like my blog on WordPress, or just in general using Goodreads. I think it's important to remember what you've read. So these are just some of my goals for 2017. There's probably much more that I'll probably come up with or think of, but I wanted to share just a few 10 goals that I have for 2017. Please comment below, what goals do you have for 2017? Either personal or just reading goals. How many books do you want to read this year? How many pages? Are you setting a schedule, or are you more of go with the flow where if you find a book, I'll read it, but you're not going to really stress about it? If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys!